continue our discussion in Chapter 9, and what we're going to work on today is a little bit of another example. And so what we're going to show you is a slightly different example. We're going to continue to work through Chapter 9 of Daniel Liang's Introduction to Java Programming, and this time we're going to be working with a TV. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so like I said, 10th edition of Introduction to Java Programming. We are working in Chapter 9, which is where Daniel introduces objects and classes. And currently, we are working in section 9.3. I want to work through listing 9.4 today, and it's called testtv.java. Daniel uses this program to test this other class that he creates called TV. And so that's what we're going to work on today. I've already got Eclipse started, so I'll be working out of Eclipse. We've got one package for listing 1, so I'm going to add another package, and I'm going to call this C8 Chapter 9 listing 4. I'll make a new class inside of that, and I will call this Chapter 9 listing 4. And this one is going to include the public static void main. This is the one we're going to be working out of. I'm not going to be using the to-do statements today, so I'll just get rid of those. We'll have a nice little place to start. And we'll have a nice little print statement to end. We see both of these are working fine. All right, let's go ahead and go back to the example and let's get started. So what I want to do first is I want to just get listing 9.4 working inside our environment. And then once we get that going, I'll go back and see if I missed anything from listing 9.3. So the first thing it wants us to do is it wants us to create a new object called TV1. And it's based off of the class definition TV. And we're going to use a default constructor here. So let's just grab this one line of code and let's get started. There we go. Okay, so it says that doesn't actually exist. I'm actually going to rename this Simple TV. I just like that name better. Okay, so now let's go ahead and create this. And Eclipse tells us I can create it for you. I'll lean on it. It puts it in the right package, gives it the right name, makes it public, does not include the public static void main. It just does everything for you, and that's really nice. I really appreciate that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and make a constructor for this, the default constructor. And what you can see is it's got the same name as the class. It doesn't return anything, and because it's the default, it could accept parameters, but it doesn't accept any parameters. So we'll go ahead and save that, and that takes care of all the problems that we have. We can run it. We see nothing new or terribly exciting happens. Okay, we'll just grab these one line at a time. Oh, too far. There we go. And it says, hey, this doesn't exist. So I'll create the method turn on. All right, so to turn on, and so what we need to have inside here is this dot television power on equals true. And the problem with that is this television power on doesn't actually exist. So we need to create this as a data type. So I'll go up here, Boolean, and let's make this private. There we go. And what's the concern? It says, hey, it's actually not getting used. Well, actually we are using it, so it's okay. All right, we can save it. We can run it, and we see that all still works. There we go. Now it wants us to set the television channel. So let's go ahead and get that set. All right, it says, hey, this doesn't exist. Let's create that. All right, public set channel. Let's call this next channel. And we'll say this dot let's just call it this dot channel equals next channel, and channel doesn't exist yet, and so we'll come up here and we'll make a new one. We'll call it, and because channels are integers, I'll use an integer for that one. All right, save that. See if we can run it. Yay, everything's still working just fine. All right, now going back here. Now it wants us to set the volume to 3. So let's come back here and we will enter this. It says set volume doesn't exist. So I'll just create the method set volume. And then I'll call this next volume. And I'll say this dot volume, no volume equals next volume. Volume does not exist yet, so we'll come up here and we'll do private int volume. Okay, and we can save this and we can run this. We can see that everything's running, but we actually haven't done anything to print anything off yet, so we don't really have much to check there. Okay, now we've got a next stack here. I'm just gonna get greedy. I'm gonna grab the whole chunk right here. And so that'll give us several problems to work through at once. Moving a little bit faster, but that's okay. I think we're starting to see the pattern here. Okay, so TV. Now, I changed the class name, that's my fault, so we'll fix this. All right, so turn on is obviously a thing. Now, TV2 channel up, let's get this figured out. So let's come up with channel up, so this dot channel plus plus. All right, save that, channel up, volume up. Okay, let's see if we can do this. And so we'll, I'm not using my to-do methods today, this dot volume plus plus. I'm gonna tidy up just real quick, get rid of, I've got a couple extra spaces here and they're not really adding anything to the readability of it, so I'll just get rid of those right quick. Okay, well, we took care of all of those problems and now they will run. Let's see what else we've got to do. Okay, so we've got a couple of print statements. Let's work through these. Ooh, this could be challenge. Yep, the way it's splitting this is not gonna be able to do a direct copy and paste, so we'll do this in our little Ubuntu environment. Work, I can read that. If you can't, I'm sorry, I'll type it out and I'll make this big as soon as I'm done. Where am I? There, we're cooking again. We're going to use a getter. So I'm going to use get channel because I like to use getters. So let's see if it'll let me wrap this plus okay, so now we've got two getters that we need to go and take care of. It says create method get channel, and so that's down here. We need you to actually return an int. This dot channel. Okay, now I can pop back here. And get volume does not exist, so we'll go ahead and create it. And again, we're using integers for the volume. This dot volume. Okay. So now we can save this. All the problems go away. We run it. Now, we can see that TV1's channel is 30 and volume is 3. Cool, that one worked just fine. Now, it wants us to do the same thing for TV2. So let's check this right quick. And so TV2, 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 save it, run it. Okay. So TV2's channel is 2 and volume level is 1. So I think somewhere here something has gone wrong. And I'm going to guess that part of what's gone wrong is probably we were supposed to have some default values. Okay, so the default channel is supposed to be 1. What you can see is I did that wrong. I did, well, let's go ahead and give some default channels then. This dot channel equals 1. And default volume, so this dot volume equals 1. And then we can run this again, 3 and 2. We can see 3 and 2 is a match. Okay. By adding the default values in our default constructor, we got that to match up. Now let's just take a look at the code and see if we've missed anything else. So I've got channel, volume, and a weather, basically a power indicator. We've got those 3 here. That matches what we're doing. And then we've got a default constructor. And then they've got the method turn on. So, and actually, oh, they are using turn on, and we've got turn on as well. Okay, so that's good. Oh, they've got turn off. So I tell you what, in order to make this work, I'm just going to go here, and I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to say TV1 dot turn off. And it'll say, hey, turn off doesn't exist. So I will create the method turn off and turn off this dot television power button equals false. Tidy up that space just a little bit. There we go. So now our code has a reason to call that. And I will turn off the other television as well. There we go. I can see everything still runs. And then now turn off, we have that. And then set channel int. So they did theirs a little bit funny, right? They said if the television is on and the new channel is greater than 1 and the new channel is less than 120. So the television has to be on and the new channel has to be within an acceptable range. Okay, well, let's go ahead and modify our code then. So the first one they have is set channel. So here's set channel, and they, in the code, they simply said if, so this dot television power on, and okay, so let's say next channel is greater than or equal to 1, and is less than or equal to 120. Okay. Get this moved up here. By the way, this is because this is getting a little long. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this. So if the thing is on, you know what? Every time I do something like that, I always wonder, did it work? And so we're going to modify this just a little bit more. I'm going to come in here, and first thing I'm going to do, let's check this right quick. Let's come in here and let's set the channel to 130, and let's see. Because the first line will tell us if the set channel is working the way it should. And then the second, let's do after add tempt. And let's wrap this right quick. There we go. Okay, so this should, yeah, after bad attempt, TV1 channel is 30. So it's still 30, even though we're setting it to 130. All right, they also have a nice little limit on the volume. And so I'll come into set volume, and this code actually is going to be very similar. So we'll just, we'll come in here and we'll just add this right here, Control A, Control I to indent. We need to change that to be volume, and the ranges that they're giving us, it can be between 1 and 7. So there's 7. And next volume equals 7. So that'll work. Okay. Let's see what else we've got. Let's go ahead and test this. Let's just grab this again. This time let's do TV2, and instead of set volume 130 or set channel, let's do set volume after bad attempt. TV2's channel is, and volume level is. Okay, so TV2's channel is 3 and volume is 2. So we notice that now it doesn't work. Okay. All right. Now they've got a few more logic conditions that are also pending. Channel up only works if the television is on and the channel is less than 120. So channel up, come here, if, and I'll use my brackets, so I like brackets. Okay, so we didn't use on, we used this dot television is power on, and channels less than 120. Okay, so let's go test this right quick. set channel. Let's go grab this guy right here. Okay. So let's set this 119, because 119 is less than 120. And then we will come back and we will say TV1 dot channel up. There we go. That's what I expected this to look like. So what this little block of code here is going to do is it's going to say, hey, max this puppy out, print it off, try to turn it up, and print it off again. And so what we should see is it should go to 119, but it should never go to 120. So limit attempt, oh, and call that bad. Cool, we get that running right down there. Okay, so there's the channel up. I've got a channel down as well, a volume up and a volume down. Sure, let's get those nailed right quick. Okay, so channel up is going to be very similar to channel down. And then using the decrement operator. And I think, you know, it looks like we can probably use a very similar code, very similar test here. I'll just set it to the limit. The limit 1 is acceptable. And then we're able to run this here. Let's check that right quick. There we go. Yeah, and so that still stays the same. Volume up. So we'll just punch this in. If okay, and I think we use television too to play with the volume. So, you know what? Let's I'll just reuse this code. And I'll change this to let's just make it TV2 dot set volume. Okay. TV2 dot set volume, and next volume we want to be 7, and then it says after a limit attempt TV2's volume is TV2 dot get volume, and no, you know what? I don't really care about any of that anyway. So we'll just go with that. TV2, that's because we have 2 brackets on the print statement. There we go. And then do TV2 dot volume up. And we'll say TB2s. Okay, after limited tip, TV2's volume is 7. Probably helps if you get the right television. And we can't turn it up past that. We've got one left to go. That says get volume. No, here we go, volume up, and we've also got volume down. So for volume up, that code worked pretty well. And now we can make volume down. We see this one, just switch that. Save that. No, that's right. One more line of code, they can test that. One more stack of code, set it to 7, and then change this. Wrong button. And we see that after limited temp TV2, we set it to 1, then we say volume down again, and it won't go down. Okay, friends, I think that's pretty good. We've got that working. Let me make this a little bit larger so that you can see all the fun stuff that's going on. There's a good amount of code here in the main method, and it's doing quite a bit. And we had to play with it long enough. Well, let's see. This is the code that Daniel had suggested us to have. And it's 8 lines of code, and it gets the point across. We added another quite a few lines of code. And this is simply to make sure that we got to play with all the other widgets that Daniel had back here on this side. So with that, friends, thank you all for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoy object-oriented programming. And again, appreciate you being here and learning with me and having a little bit of fun with object-oriented programming. Have a wonderful day.